All right, we're live to preview the second ODI between India and Australia. And like always, the game is happening in Mumbai. And like always, we've got Shomi, we've got Neha. 30th of December, the second last day of the year. Some might say probably not the best of ways to celebrate it, but to be honest, I'm not complaining. Shomi, let's start with you. How's it going? Final weekend of the year, final days of the year. All good?
Absolutely fantastic. And considering that, we have had a pretty much a roller coaster year as Indian cricket fans. And this is literally the last game that the Indian senior national team is playing. So let's just hope that we end the year with a bang. And as they say, all's well that ends well. So we'll hope for a absolute banger of a holiday ending, whatever you call it.
Definitely well put there. All's well that ends well. We can only hope for that. Neha, what about you? Any plans? How's it going? How's the new year weekend looking for you?
Yeah, looking all good, Was quite excited for this show as well. And with the men's team giving us a lot of grief, I hope our women can turn things around, because I think it'll be an absolute underdog story, right? Coming like 0-1 all to, get the series to 1 all. I think that will like speak volumes about this team that has actually done so much in 2023. It often gets overshadowed by men's cricket, but that's a discussion for another day. I think yes, we're hoping we have a good match today and India can really showcase what they're made of.
100%. I mean, we know what they're made of. We also got glimpses of it in the first ODI. We saw, the way our batters really, put their best feet forward despite not having the best of starts in terms of, how we sort of crawled our way to 182 for 7, and then from there Jemmy and Pooja, that fantastic partnership we won't forget, of course. Up top we had Yasika as well, coming and playing a new role, at least in the Indian jersey. We've not really seen much of her at the top while playing for India. It was good to see her come good. We also spoke about, Shefali and how this might sort of be a deal breaker for her this series, and how her form could really be a cause for concern when it comes to, her spot in the 11. We're still not sure about, Smriti's place right now. Neha, any update on that? What do you think? Do you see her playing today?
As you know, communication is BCCI's forte, so we have no idea if she's going to be playing today's match or not. But fingers crossed, I hope we really get to see Smriti Mandana, playing this match, because she is that, key player in our batting setup. And considering, Shefali Verma is not in that purple patch or even like the form that we expect her to be in, I think having someone like a Smriti Mandana right at the top of the order will do India a world of good. And I think she would like ideally be partnering Yastika. That is, if the team management, wants to take that decision of dropping Shefali, or, keep Shefali but push her like much down in the order, which I'm not sure is again the most ideal move, because what message are you giving her? But in either case, I hope, as we near the toss, we get some update on Smriti, because we know the kind of player she is, yeah.
Definitely. And show me, is that a combination you're looking forward to? Smriti and Yastika at the top, two left-handers.
There was one comment during our show last time, and somebody had mentioned that Richa Ghosh up in the top along with Smriti when she comes back. At that point of time, it seemed a little unreal, but I have been literally thinking about it over the last couple of days, and I think that's a really, really good option, especially if you look at the way the match had gone in the last instant. There were a lot of dot balls that were there overall through the match, and mainly so in the power play. India had literally 43 dot balls in the first 10 overs. And I think that's where we need to accelerate. That's definitely a scope of improvement for the team. And having Richa in that spot, if Smriti comes back, then along with Smriti having that left hand right hand combination, I think that will be something that I'll really look forward to. I know it's a little probably not so much a probability, considering that they will not really want to tickle around with the batting order so much, and especially since Richa is new. But it's a very, very lucrative option, if I may say so.
Definitely, and it also sort of adds to that left-right combination, something that, modern day cricket sort of loves to, play around with. They like to have that flexibility, that variety in the order. And yeah, even I agree with you there, Shomi, because when I first heard of it from, if I'm not wrong, it was Fantasy Cricket Pro who'd mentioned it, Viren that is. And when he first mentioned it, I thought, that's a bit outlandish, is because Richa, we've always seen her bat at number 4, number 5, and to be honest, not even number 4, it's number 5, number 6 and below. In fact, I remember reading a tweet, I'm forgetting who it was by. The tweet basically said that, Richa has never really batted at number 3 or above for India, and she's not even done that for Bengal for that matter. So Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting move if they do that. We've seen it, sort of help the Indian men's side of things. We know someone like Virender Sehwag was also promoted up the order, and yeah, it sort of worked well for us there. You never know, so we can always be hopeful about it. And speaking about being hopeful, by the way, from what little I understand, Shriyanka Patil is slated to make her debut today. I'm not sure who is she going to replace. It could be the case that Sneh Rana, because of the dive and all of that, so maybe she's not entirely match fit. Could be the case, but Neha, again, Shriyanka coming in happy about. I mean, do you think that's a fair call, given Sneh Rana might not be fit?
Absolutely, because I think last match we saw how fielding was a cause for concern, for Team India. Now having the likes of Shriyanka Patil, who not just adds a lot of value with her bowling and batting, she's also an electric fielder. I think that's something we really need. And with Jemima, going through her that phase where she was finding it difficult to bat, the heat was taking a toll on her. She was not in the field, and I think even the fielding coach kind of acknowledged how Jemmy is that ball of energy you need in the field. But talking about Shriyanka, she has definitely, made her case with the consistent performances backing her claim in the team. I'm quite excited to see her. We will definitely miss Sneh Rana because she has that experience, and we've been raving about her through and through. But either case, this is a wonderful opportunity for Shriyanka, and considering India is trailing in the series, I think it is the ideal time to make a mark for herself.
Definitely. Again, there's no official update. We're still waiting. Right now, the only official update is that the toss has happened. Australia have won the toss and opted to bat. Neha, let's start with you again there. Australia have now opted to bat first. We spoke last time around that, probably India would have been better off last time around bowling first. This time they are bowling first, not by choice. But even then, do you think this is probably a good sign, or something that's actually worked in India's favor?
I think this might actually benefit India because we have already had our time batting first, and the stats are also not in our favor. Apparently, all the times we have scored above 270, we have lost all those 7 matches we have scored that much because we were unable to defend it, right? So, in this case, I think if we put in a good bowling performance, try to restrict Australia to say that score of 250, 260, the optimistic Indian fan in me talking there, because we know how Australia will, of course, aim for a score of 300 in excess. But restricting Australia early will, I think, definitely aid us when we come to chase, because I think even like historically we've been better chasers, although we have had some heartbreak losses, taking that into consideration as well. But this will be a perfect opportunity for us to actually chase and level the series. I mean, imagine a thrilling run chase, right? What more could one ask for?
100%. One couldn't ask for more there. Show me, what about you? Do you think the toss has actually worked in India's favor? That the fact that we're bowling first?
I'm not pretty sure because, the last time around, both the captains had mentioned that they wanted to bat first. So I'm not really sure whether there is anything in the conditions contrary to what we see from outside. But considering that we didn't have a choice and we will have to make the most of it, I believe there are definitely a lot of positives that India can take out of this particular toss. Number one, even after scoring a 282, we could not defend it. So, are we a better chasers? Of course, statistics says that we are better chasers. And I think even with the way we kind of came back from the entire initial topple the last time around, we will be pretty much more confident with the bat rather than with the ball, which didn't quite go in our favor. So yeah, I think it's a blessing in disguise. Also, we saw the last time that after 8:30ish, there were a little bit of help from the field. So we might just take all of those things into consideration and take the maximum positive out of it.
Fair enough. We can only be hopeful there. And by the way, there is confirmation on Shriyanka Patil's debut. So she is making her debut today. She's received a cap from the skipper, Harmanpreet Kaur, which also sort of gives me an indication that Smriti is not playing today once again. We're still not sure. No update on the squads, on the playing 11s. We will talk about that and much more as and when we sort of go through the preview. Now, coming to the match, we saw what happened in the first game. We saw how India batted first, and how pretty much all of them got starts. It's not like Indian batters struggled. All of them got starts. Most of them weren't able to convert it, and therein lies the problem. Because if you stick in there, if you sort of understand, what needs to be done, you're expected to go the full distance, which is what Australia did. there was Elisa Healy who of course got out for a duck, and the next four batters almost went on to score a half century. Of course, Beth Mooney getting out for 42. I was pretty sure that all four of them will end up with a 50 at the end of the day, but that didn't happen. But that was the difference between the two sides, because India had a lot of starts. There were 15s, there were 20s, there were 25s. No one went on to score. I mean, not a lot of them went on to score those 50s, 60s, 70s. That wasn't the case with Australia. Neha, is that something that you're hoping the Indian batters can sort of work on or fix? Of course, it's not something that can be fixed between two games, but you see that being a concern for the Indian batting unit?
Definitely, because when you look at the last match and the scorecard, the batting hinged a lot on the primary performers to deliver. In this case, we obviously had Jemima come to the party, score that crucial 82. Yastika was batting at the other end. But even though the other batters got their starts, they just weren't able to capitalize. And that's why I think you have to give due credit to the Aussie bowlers as well. They just did not allow the Indian batters to settle. And I think that was like obviously a point of difference between the two. So I hope this match we actually get to see the Indian batters, convert those starts. I know there might be, the dot balls piling up, but if you're piling on the dot balls and then getting dismissed, it's definitely not good for, the next few batters who are coming, because there's just so much pressure, right? And with Australia, you cannot afford any slip ups. And the other case with us was the fact that there was no time that, you could just let go and be free. In Australia's case, every single time Renuka was like bowling at from one end, the other end was Pooja Vastakar or some other like not so strong bowler. Australia was just pouncing on them. And you could see, right, with the way, even though they lost Elisa Healy early on, there was just no panic. So I think, losing those wickets and still trying to make your way through the innings, not piling on those dot balls, is something India can definitely, strive to improve in today's match. And I hope the batting coaches had a chat with them about this concern.
Definitely, that's something to look forward to, and I'm genuinely hoping that the Indian batting unit comes up with a better performance. Again, not that they weren't good enough last time around. I was just going through the scorecard. Only three batters last time around had a strike rate in excess of 60. And all of them had a strike rate in excess of 100. Like it was Jemmy, Richa, and Pooja who had a strike rate in excess of 100. And all of them, all the other batters had a strike rate below 60. And that's where we need to work on it. Because when someone like a Yastika plays 64 balls, when someone like a Deepti, when someone like an Amanjot plays 30, 40 balls, you would want them to make it count. You would not just want them to accelerate after that, but you would want them to make it count going forward. So show me again. We spoke about Richa Ghosh and all of that. Since we are getting a few comments, let's just take Manoj's comment first. He says, India doesn't have a proper finisher except Pooja. I don't know who can hit sixes down the order. Don't you think, I mean, we've got someone like a Richa Ghosh. Do you think someone like a Shriyanka Patil could be a value add there in that position in the lower middle order?
I think absolutely. I think that's where she's a great replacement for Sneha Rana. We know that Sneha Rana can make those deliveries count, and here also as well, she's pretty much a like-to-like replacement. And definitely, we have seen what kind of batting Shriyanka Patil brings onto the table, along with, of course, the bowling that she does. So I think from that point of view, this is a great addition. If I may just add on to what Neha mentioned regarding our bowling options, I was really hoping that probably we can also see Titash coming into the side for two reasons. Number one, last time around we did not see a lot of backing in terms of the two bowlers, the two pacers. There was no rhythm going along with that, and secondly, also the fact that Wankhede is probably a bouncy kind of a track. So would Titash added up something to this particular bowling lineup? I thought there might be some merit.
There might also be a third hidden reason there. She comes from Bengal. The connect, probably that. Come on, show me. You can have your biases there. No worries. Just kidding. But yeah, 100%. She is someone even I'm looking forward to watching, especially the way she wields the long levers as well, the long handle. It's something to look forward to for sure. Last time around as well, we had just two pacers, and Amanjot Kaur was our third pacer. Sorry, once again. I hope everything's fine. Yeah, but if Amanjot Kaur's your third pacer, I feel you're probably slightly thin on your pace bowling reserves, and that's where someone like a Titas would really add value. So yeah, we can always hope she gets some game time soon enough. But yeah, just to sort of finish what Manoj was saying, and then we'll go to Neha as well on that. He goes on to say that there are upper order batters, and we've got someone like a Richa, so let her be a lower order finisher. India should learn from Australia how to chase. Of course, they maintain more than the required run rate from the start instead of batters getting out in the middle. Interesting points, those. Of course, we did speak about Richa Ghosh and how probably the Indian team is looking at her and how they're probably even looking to mold her into a top order batter, which might not be the worst for her and not the worst for the Indian team as well. But yeah, what do you make of this point by Manoj, in terms of our lower order batting and that needing some strengthening? And also about the fact that, how Australia's run rate throughout the chase was in excess of 5. And again, in India's defense, it's not that we were too slow. We also were hovering in and about there and there about 5. But that was only because Jemmy was there throughout. Had we not had Jemmy and if we had someone like say Harman and Amanjot or Deepthi batting together, then we might have seen, getting stuck in the middle. Our run rate also probably dipping below 4.5 and stuff like that. So do you see any merit in us trying to sort of strengthen our lower order batting there?
Absolutely. I think that is a fair point that Manoj brings, because, Richa is known to have that power hitting ability that, can be utilized in the lower order as well. But now I think with the team management vesting this whole thing, you open and, you come in at 3 for us, I think we need to give her some time to settle in here. And if we still feel, our lower order needs that support, probably you can bring her down. And in the case of, Shefali getting removed, we can probably explore other options, right? You have Priya Punya, who's there in the reserves, who can definitely, not a part of this squad, of course, but like in the future, you can definitely look at her as an option. You have S. Meghna, or you can probably get Jemmy up to open, because when Jemmy also made her debut, right, she was always slotted as this top order batter as well. So perhaps India can explore these options as well. And yeah, definitely if India needs that support in the lower order, Richa can be that person. And to also answer your question about Australia, making the most and, ensuring that their required run rate was always at 5, that's just the kind of team they are. They know how to orchestrate that perfect template for a run chase. And it was for all of us to see. I mean, chasing a total of 282 in foreign conditions, they did it with so much ease, right? And at no point they looked like, they were getting... they were feeling any pressure. So that goes to show what a quality side Australia is. And I think we can definitely take a leaf from their book, on how to construct these run chases.
In all fairness, we should be taking every leaf out of Australia's playbook when it comes to playing cricket, because I don't think there's anything where I wouldn't want to take inspiration from that side, because that's been the side to beat for the last decade and a half even. Coming back to the 11 right now, India's 11, that is 2 changes. Smriti Mandhana is back. That's the biggest update from the center right now. She's replaced Shefali Verma. So Shefali's already faced the axe, unfortunately. So we are going to see a new opening combination. It is going to be Smriti. It is going to be Yastika. We might even see Richa getting that promotion yet again. And Shriyanka Patil, meanwhile, hasn't come in place of Sneha Rana. She's come in place of Saika Ishaq. So that's the other change. So 2 RCBians coming in. The RCB fan in me, of course, is all over the place. Is all over the moon, of course, not all over the place. But yeah, that's really heartening to see both of them get a chance. Smriti, of course, not getting a chance. She was always going to come back whenever she was going to be fit. But yeah, I didn't think Shefali would be sort of facing the axe so quickly. But yeah, it's been a while. It's been a long time coming. So in some sense, yeah, we can see where they're looking at this. Let's hope, this sort of helps Shefali improve a game and she comes back stronger and better, because she's still 19. So yeah, we don't need to worry about, age not being on her side. Let's just take a few more questions before I move on. Unknown says, wow, great to see girls speak about cricket. Thank you so much. I mean, nothing new, but yeah, thank you. I'll still sort of thank on their behalf. This panel is my favorite of all. No offense to Avnish, Nikhil and Gurkirat. Shanti Cruz, thank you so much. I'll make sure I'll rub this in Avnish's face day in, day out. Thank you so much. And yeah, do follow us on that note. Please do make sure you're hitting the like button right now, because that's how YouTube promotes the live stream. So make sure you've hit the like button if you haven't already. And also make sure you've subscribed to us if you haven't already. Unknown once again goes on to say Yastika and Smriti should be a great opening combo in ODIs. Shefali isn't improving anymore. Yastika is better than Shefali. He also adds to that, good that Shefali has been dropped. Someone's really, critical about her. Shomi, let's start with you on that. Shefali being dropped, of course, it was a long time coming. So no surprises there, so to say. But sort of excited to see this new look competition, Smriti, Yastika, and potentially Richa at number 3.
Yes, absolutely. Because I don't know if it's fair to call that Shefali deserved it or not. But yeah, I mean, of course, she have had her chances, and it would have been really unfair to probably drop out a Richa or a Yastika when when Smriti would have been all right. So definitely a fair call. Something's fair in the Indian camp, so I'm very excited about that. Now here, definitely Yastika and Smriti bring on that power hitting as well as somebody who's anchoring the innings kind of a vibe. So very excited to see that with Richa coming in at number 3, and then definitely having Jemima and Harmanpreet to follow. The openers will be much at ease, and I hope that they will play a very normal and eased out cricket there. So hoping to see the right balance in between powerful hitting as well as anchoring as and when it will be required. As we spoke before, power play will be crucial. So I think with Smriti in there, we are in a much better shape.
Fair enough. And a few more comments coming in. I'll just take a couple. Adi says, subscribing to this channel only for the show. Thank you so much, Adi. But do check out our other shows as well. It's not like wo kharab hai, wo bhi equally good hai. ये क्या इंग्लिश चल रही है मेरे दिमाग में पता नहीं, but Adi, yeah, do subscribe. Thank you so much for subscribing, but do check some of our other content as well. You won't be disappointed, rest assured. Neha, one change for the Aussies as well. Megan Shute misses out. Kim Garth has come in. I'm not sure what the reason is. Again, because we're watching the broadcast on mute, so we'll have to wait before we get a proper update on why the change has been made. Let's talk about key battles right now. A lot of interesting matchups, a lot of interesting players playing today. If you had to pick a certain battle, a certain matchup that you're looking forward to, who would it be?
Yeah, so for me, it definitely has to be Renuka Singh versus Alisa Healy, right? She's made Alisa Healy her bunny so many times, be it the Commonwealth Games, be it the World Cup, and be it the first ODI as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to their encounter because Renuka Singh Thakur is that beauty, that bowler you want right at the top of the order, getting you those wickets as well. So this is one battle I'm definitely watching out for. And another one, if I may add, has to be Pooja Vastrikar versus Beth Mooney, right? Pooja Vastrikar has had a brilliant 2023. Look at her statistics; they literally speak for themselves. She has also, dismissed Nat Silver and like Heather Knight, and now even Beth Mooney in that Test series, and on to this ODI as well. So in that sense, yeah, these are some key battles to look forward to, and I'd love to see them, extend that form onto this one. So yeah, fingers crossed to see some wickets coming in.
Interesting. Show me, what about you? Key battles, key matchups that you're looking forward to today.
I'm as well looking forward to Alisa Healy versus Renuka. But since Neha spoke about it, in case we don't get Healy pretty much early, I'll definitely look forward to a lot of juicy K-serial type drama when Harman will come in. So yeah, it doesn't really hurt because we are in the holiday season. It's almost the end of the year. So yeah, a little bit of entertainment will be pretty much appreciated.
Interesting. And if I'm not wrong, what Alisa Healy has been dismissed 4 times in ODIs by Renuka Thakur. So yeah, in as many games, or in 5 games if I'm not wrong. So yeah, definitely something to look forward to. In terms of matchups that I'm personally looking forward to, of course, unknown says Smriti versus Gardner. Yeah, that is a fairly obvious one. Matlab, ye to पूछने की भी बात नहीं है. So that I genuinely hope Smriti is able to handle her, because yeah, that's going to be key for India to sort of be able to post that big total. If India want to do that, Smriti being able to handle Gardner will really go a long way in us helping to do that. But in terms of how much, how key, interesting, because I have too many names running in my head. Darcy Brown versus Richa Ghosh is one battle that I'm looking forward to, because again, Richa Ghosh, we know she loves hitting spin for fun. But when it comes to pace, again, not that she can't handle pace, but Darcy Brown is pace. So that's why if she's able to handle her, that'll give me personally even more confidence ki boss, yeah, she is definitely going to be a very, very, very crucial cog in the wheel for the Indian lineup in the days going forward. So yeah, that's a battle that I'm personally looking forward to, and I'm hoping Richa will sort of come out on top in that battle. But yeah, very interesting names mentioned. I can't sort of help but look at some of the comments. Finally, Shefali is dropped once again, says Shubha. Yeah, it's I understand that it was a long time coming, but I don't know. It's sort of a bittersweet feeling, because I genuinely like Shefali the player as well. So it's it's sort of a bittersweet feeling. Let's only hope that she comes back stronger from it. Please do predict the Australia's. Please predict Australia's total at the end of the first innings. We'll also given our predictions at the end of the preview. So hang out. Do stay around till then. But yeah, going to the next question. Shomi, let's start with you this time around. Last time when we spoke about X Factor, I know you. I remember you speaking about Lisa Healy. Neha had also mentioned a couple of names I have completely forgotten because there are too many names that we're speaking about right now. I know I'd mentioned Amanjot Kaur and Darcy Brown. Yeah, man, Darcy Brown should give me some money because the amount of times I've mentioned her right now, yeah, I probably need some money there. But yeah, Shomi, let's start with you. X Factor players that you're looking forward to today.
I think from India, if somebody has to take us through, it has to be a bowler. So definitely Pooja Vastrakar will play a very key role in restricting the Australian batting to a decent total. So Pooja Vastrakar from India, and from Australia, definitely Ellis Perry, because of the kind of innings that she played in the last game. Came in at a time when the team needed her. It was a pressure situation. She had the intent right from the beginning and kind of maintained the run rate. Plus, also, what was very interesting to see there is how she kind of made it easy for Phoebe Litchfield. So I think from all of those point of view, definitely Ellis Perry, and I hope that we'll get to see a little bit of bowling from her as well. So yeah, those are my two names.
Fair enough. Neha, what about you?
Yeah, so last time around, I had actually gone in with Jemima and T-Mac. So this time around, I'll just mix things up. So for Australia, perhaps, I think Beth Mooney, she's going to be that X Factor player because a lot of people just don't take her seriously. And I'm like, why? She's such an important player in that setup. Every single time she steps up. In the WBBL, we have seen her, come up with every season 600 runs. That kind of consistency, man. She's definitely one player, Australia can always bank on for runs. So I believe Beth Mooney is going to get a score of 50 and excess, please. I hope she does get. And for India, I think it's definitely going to be that X Factor player is going to be, I think, Jemima again. Not coming from a fan POV, but I think the kind of form she has been in 2023, raking up like 796 runs, in all the internationals she's played. I think she is really coming into her own, the kind of performances every single time the team needs her. She knows how to anchor the chase. She knows how to get those runs. She's that perfect player in the ODI setup, as I've always been telling, if one format really suits her well, I think it is this one. So I'm definitely hoping, she can get in a good score today. And even though she's coming at number 5, which is thoda down the order, which, gives a lot of stability and confidence, to the batters at the top that, hey, we can play our game because we know Jemmy is coming in at 5. So, we have someone who we can actually depend on. So in that sense, definitely, Jemima is going to be the ex-player today as well.
Fair enough, all right. And that just sort of made me sort of look up and notice. So you mentioned Jemmy and T-Mac, and you also predicted the score to be 278, 280 last time around. You got all of them right. For someone who sort of, tries to say ki, haan, nahi, yaar, meko, matlab, I'm not good with predictions. You got 3 out of 3 last time around. Let's see how this ODI sort of plays out when it comes to predictions. But yeah, when it comes to my X Factors, yeah, there's a certain debutant from the Indian side. Come on. I can't look past her. I'm really sorry. I'm not even trying. I'm not even trying to keep my biases aside. I genuinely love what I've seen of Shreyanka. Love the player. So I'm definitely going with Shreyanka. And last time around, I'd gone ahead with Darcy Brown, and I was sort of in a dilemma. Should I go with Georgia Volume or her? This time around, I'll sort of mix her up a bit. This time around, I'll go with Georgia. She also got a couple of wickets last time, and we've not yet seen her bat, and that's why she can come in handy today as well, because Australia is batting first in the fag end. You might see her getting a promotion if a wicket falls. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to her. So yeah, according to me, it's going to be Georgia Boydham and of course Shreyanka Patil. Yeah, no biases there, absolutely no biases. Just a coincidence that both of them play for a certain franchise that I tend to love. Just the coincidence there. Let's take a few questions, of course, before we sort of wrap the preview up with our predictions. Adi asks us, what do you think about so many offies in the 11? Yeah, that's a fair point, because there's Sneha, there's Shreyanka, there's also Harmanpreet if required, even Jemmy bowls, one off spin for what it's worth again. Shomi, let's start with you. Like, do you think that's a bit of an overkill? It makes our bowling lineup a bit sort of, one-dimensional?
Yeah, but then do we have a choice is the question. So I think that's there's a problem of plenty and there is a dearth of leg spinners. So I think we just got to make the most of what from what we have.
Fair enough. All right. Neha, what about you in terms of the sort of abundance of off spinners that we have, how do you think can we sort of go about it? Of course, leg spinners, slow left armers, we do have options, but all of them are primarily bowlers. We don't really have a lot of all-rounders who also sort of bowl slow left armers or leg spinners. So any names that come to your mind?
See, I think this also, boils down to the underlying problem of selection and the wonderful job that the management, of course, does, because we've seen how the likes of Shikha Pandey, right, who has the best average versus Australia, is not anywhere in contention. And it's quite saddening to not see her. But coming to the question of having a lot of off spinners in the side, it's because we don't want to experiment a lot, right? We had the likes of Ekta Bish, we had Rajeshwari Gaikwad. They were all coming in with, very good returns from the domestic circuit. Yet not being chosen here is just some things you have no answers to. But in either case, I think the kind of roster we have with our off spinners is pretty great. It's just about them, making the most of their opportunities and exploiting the conditions, which I hope they will do. And India's bowling, I mean, the spin bowling right now does look one-dimensional, but I hope at least this series gives us a fair chance to, assess this thing. And in the future series, we can perhaps incorporate those leg spin options based on how, we see that senior women's one-day trophy also play out. Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, Manoj also goes on to say, guys, Rajeshwari is not bad, to be honest, in ODI. She should have gotten a chance at least in ODIs. She was actually fairly sort of, economical, and she sort of was good with her accuracy as well in the test match. So, yeah, not a bad shout at all. She's also experienced. That sort of definitely will come in handy, given that we are a fairly inexperienced side. But I can't help but also understand where the Indian team is coming from and what they're looking at, because they are trying to focus on building batting depth. Like if we look at our lineup today, we have Pooja slated in at number 9, we've got Shriyanka slated in at number 10, and Renuka is technically the only batter who cannot bat. Like if I had to put it that way. So, only bowler. Sorry, sorry about that. Only bowler who can't bat. And yeah, that's not, to be honest, a bad place to be in, to have 10 batting options. So yeah, maybe I personally am a fan of batting depth. So because of that, so personally I do think that this isn't the worst way of looking at it. But yeah, we can only wait and watch, because of course we do have plenty of options in the domestic talent pool. So yeah, one can only hope that they also get their due when it comes to playing for the Indian side. Please give the old ball to Pooja Vastrikar. She loses control with the new ball, even in tests, says Manoj. Interesting point once again. Show me, let's start with you on this. But अगर पूजा के साथ start नहीं करेंगे, तो who starts with Renuka?
I think we don't have an option there. We will have to start with Pooja, but it's important to bring in Amanjot very quickly and then save Pooja for the death overs and maybe for the middle over spell. So I think that will be a good way to go into this particular game. But yeah, also if we can have a little bit of a spin pretty much early on, I don't think that'll really harm, because we have quality spinners out there who can probably come in even during the power play and give us something. So yeah, it's not a bad option at all.
Interesting. Neha, what about you in terms of potential partners for Renuka if Pooja doesn't start with the new ball? Do you have any other names apart from Amanjot? Pitas comes to mind.
I mean, definitely. Like when we look at this match, we don't have Titus, so we'll have to probably mix things up. In case Pooja is having a rough spell right at the start, we can probably bring in Amanjot, to just mix things up. And as Shomi said, we can also have those spin bowling options being introduced early on. So the ball gets old. Later, you can have Pooja, because we saw in the first ODI also she was able to get much of her damage in the latter part of the game. So probably that is something India can definitely explore, considering we don't have pace options besides the 3 in our playing 11 today.
Yep. By the way, live action has begun, in Mumbai right now. So that's probably signs for us to also wrap this up quickly. Time to just get our prediction hat on and make predictions. How much is the Australian side ending with at the end of the first inning? Show me. Let's start with you.
I definitely look at a 300 happening there, though I don't want it to happen, but I'm pretty certain it'll be a 300 plus.
All right, fair enough. Neha, what about you?
It doesn't matter, Akshay, because we have batting depth. And when you were speaking about batting depth, I just thought that, yes, we got to love the batting depth because we love a specific franchise which also loves the same thing. So yeah, had to get that joke out of me. Yeah.
Neha, well, it's your turn now, because I'm going to just slyly avoid that conversation. Sunani, bhai, kuch sunani.
Yeah, so I think I'm predicting Australia to score somewhere in the range of 290 to 300. I feel our bowlers will come to the party and kind of restrict them in that latter half. But I think death bowling, guys, that will be very important because it has been a cause for concern. So I hope, this time around we can avoid that whole situation of leaking a lot of runs in those final 10 overs. So yeah, somewhere in this range of 290 to 300.
All right, I'll have to be a bit cold-hearted here because last time I did predict, India will sort of hit Virender Sehwag 319. I'll have to say, it'll be Virender Sehwag this time at least. 319 for sure because death bowling, Pooja ke alawa, I don't see a lot of options, in our armory. Renuka, the death bowler again. I'm not sure. Shriyanka is making a debut. Shriyanka is definitely going to be bowling at the death, but debut hai, it's against Australia in a format that Australia are the world champions. So yeah, I'm sort of not looking at it too optimistically. So yeah, Virender Sehwag 319 is what I'm going to predict. But yeah, it is time to wrap up the preview now. Of course, Australia have already begun their batting, and from what I understand, they are 1 for no loss, 4 balls are done. In the middle out there, we let Neha and Shomi also go so that they can also catch a bit of the live action, of course. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will be back right after the game ends today. I know it is the second last day of the year, but it's also the last game of the Indian Eves. Let's hope they end the year on a positive note. Until then, it's a goodbye from all of us. Thank you so much, and see you guys at around 8:45 or 9 or 8:30, whenever it is. See you guys right after the match ends. Thank you.